Gangrene! This is Jets West of Jets Jargon here to provide to you the inside jargon of being a Jets fan. Um, Again, my name is Jets West, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing my way too early power rankings. And I am doing all 32 teams since we are in the off-season ones. And then I'll get a little bit more into how I'm going to do these going forward. But let's just go ahead and get started. So, first, at number 32, we have the Carolina Panthers. Um, so after the season, I just don't see the Panthers being able to turn it around yet. They're basically rebuilding the team again for the third straight year, it feels like. And I don't see it getting any better until Tepper realizes to just leave the football to the football guys. Maybe their new coach will be able to, make sure that he knows that he's just taking care of the football stuff. But um, Tepper needs to just leave the football to the football guys, and he can work out the financials, and the organization could be top tier. But until then, I just think Carolina will be lucky to keep their head coach for 2 straight years and have Bryce Young at least look like he should. At 31, we have the Washington Commanders. So I know right now it seems like I'm kind of just taking draft order, but commies have a lot of rebuilding to do. Dan Quinn is an unknown factor for them yet. He, has had a history of kind of middling performances, and he was the head coach on the wrong end of 28-3. But they do have a few tools to work with, like Terry McLaughlin. There's also rumors about, Sam Howell going anywhere. I'm not sure that would be a good idea for them to let go of Sam Howell, just because he is a decent backup option for whoever they're taking at number two. And they need a solid draft besides whatever QB they're going to get after that number one pick. So it's to be completely fair. The draft is such a crapshoot. We can't be for sure on how it's going to go. But I think if they get their hands on the best QB or the right QB in the top three, then they'll at least move up and to the right a little bit. So it'll be good. At number 30, we have the Tennessee Titans. So Tennessee's going under a full rebuild as well. King Hernandez likely not going to be coming back, and they have the new head coach in Brian Callahan. Fortunately, unlike the previous two, they do have a QB with upside in Will Levis, who was quoted from Pat McAfee as saying that now that he's got the calls like in his headset for taking play calls, it's now easier for him to visualize the play on the field, so he's having an easier time adapting to the game and knowing what to do because he doesn't have to remember what the play is to speak it to everybody else. He just hears it, says it, and then he's able to visualize everything on the field. And it's scary to hear when the NFL is the easiest your brain has been at processing the game. While I do think this year is not going to be great, be patient, Titans fans. As long as the build is happening, there's sun in the horizon. At 29, we have the New York Giants. Giants. So the Giants, they did have an above expectation season thanks to the Italian legend Tommy DeVito. But now they have the problem of they don't know if their $40 million a year QB is the best QB they have. Like, if Tommy DeVito makes a hell of a run at it in the offseason, then it's possible he could be challenging Dan Jones if Dan Jones keeps going backwards or doesn't have the best training camp. Now, the investment in Dan Jones means that his scale is going to be slightly more weighted, but they're going to have to figure that out. And once they have that problem solved, then with the weird circumstances between Dable and Wink now being a non-factor, there is upside, but they're going to need a culture shift of going back to a winning culture and showing everybody that they do mean business. And you got to do it now while you still have Saquon in his prime. So good luck, Giants, but Jets are better. At 28, I have the Denver Broncos. Now, no, I know it might be controversial putting them this low, but hear me out. I think they should have lost more games than they did if it wasn't for Vance Johnson figuring it out and Sean Payton quite literally making the safest game plan for Russell Wilson and Russell Wilson playing good just when he needed to a few of those times. Now, going into this year, I don't think they'll find the QB that's going to make Sean happy immediately, or or the one that's going to perform better than Russ. Like that's where they're at right now. Russ is going to be leaving. Um, Russ is going to be leaving, but with where they're at 12 overall, I don't think Sean's going to be happy. He's going to need a year to sit. Best plan that I think is to keep Russ, which we know they're not going to, and let him be the bridge QB. Pay him for the couple of years that you're already going to pay him, and maybe Sean Payton can mold that number 12 pick into a QB that he loves, like kind of what Matt LaFleur did with Jordan Love, where he was sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Now, granted, Russ isn't Aaron Rodgers, but if they do continue to improve that, then it might be better. If they do that, then they'll go up. But otherwise, I expect them to have a not great season. They may peak at that 500 mark, but I have them in the lower half of losing a lot more games than winning right now. At 27, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I have Arizona here because they have arguably the most draft capital, but it is the draft, so it could be insane or it could be a struggling team of rookies. This last season did cement Kyler as the starter for now, and when they came back, they went something like two or three wins out of the last 6 games, something like that, which isn't bad compared to the rest of the season, and the fact that Kyler quite literally has nobody really great playing around him. So they're hoping to make some move in free agency. Now, if they draft well, they go up. And if they don't, then I feel like 27 is going to be where they land, as they have a solid enough base to win some games, and hopefully a few of these picks perform for them. And, they may possibly trade away some of that capital to get guaranteed talent. But unless either of those moves happens, I'm just going to keep them at 27. At 26, we have the Chicago Bears. Now, I have them here this low, not because of the players, but because of the coaches and the organization. And if I'm being honest, if Fields leaves, which is the rumors going around, even though Fields is denying it, everybody's kind of assuming that they're just going to go grab Caleb Williams. They're going to be at like 31. Like the Commanders are probably going to be better than them because it'll be another year of do or die head coach with a brand new quarterback and an organization that doesn't seem to know how to coach quarterbacks to just continue on the cycle of pain. So for their sake, I'm hoping they keep Fields and they either draft his backup for a year, like they could draft Caleb Williams, but for the love of God, keep Justin Fields there to run one more year with Eberflus. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you get rid of both of them. You trade Justin Fields away, and then Eberflus is gone, and now you have Caleb Williams, who's had a year of knowing the NFL, like how the NFL works, but he's going to be on his first year starting with a first year head coach for the organization. And I think that'll be a much better situation. Um, if they don't, if they don't do that and they just they trade him away, or if they trade him away, then it's just going to be bad. Or if they shop the number one pick, then they better get something good out of that. Hopefully they do make the right decision though on how to handle this.